Welcome back to another episode of The Funny Please.
The Funny Please.
Where you have the right to remain laughing.
Oh, that's...
I know, it's such a good punchline.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Funny.
I'm your host,
yes.
Ashley, and this is your other host, Ethan Filler.
Hi, I'm Ethan Filler. I just want to say ACAB, assigned cop at birth. Thank you so much.
And today we have a very special guest. She's a comedian. She's actually the first comedian we've ever had on this podcast who is passed at the Cellar. And she doesn't just pass at the Cellar, she's also passed as a woman. And introducing...
Well, sometimes.
Introducing Jaye McBride.
Wow. No, thank you. Not sitting next to you. Now I feel definitely like the before pick. Thank you. Thank you for that.
She's passed at the Cellar. We'll see if she remains passed at the Cellar after this podcast.
Yes, not in New York. I'm passed in Utah.
Are you passive aggressive too?
Yes. I'm passive aggressive. Yes, for sure.
But also, like, a little brag about you. So you have opened for Amy Schumer.
I did.
Tell us about that.
It was amazing.
Tell us about that.
How did you meet her?
Stalking.
They
Stalking.
went to preschool together.
Right.
Wait, really?
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. Before she even transitioned, she knew Amy Schumer through preschool. That's of course it's not true. None of this is true.
Okay.
No, so I was at the Cellar and she was working on her new hour, and basically she was doing this sort of like a secret show. Like, so she didn't want to advertise Amy Schumer's doing a new hour, so she would do this secret show at the Cellar. And they asked, like, they would need a host for it because it would sometimes be like 5 PM on a Sunday or something like that. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. So then I got to meet her. And it was kind of funny. The first time I met her, she was with Jennifer Lawrence. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wait,
I'm
the
like,
two of them
shit.
together, yeah.
they're close friends.
Yeah,
that is true, by the way. I'm not fucking with you
It
now.
was so weird.
The new J-Lo, she's replacing the old one.
J-Law? Yeah.
J-Law. Wait, J-Law.
They're whitewashing J-Lo. It's fucking bullshit. J-Lo, I don't know.
J-Lo with a law degree.
Yeah, anyway, so I got to work with her. We hit it off. She was friends. I got to write Inside Amy Schumer, and I got to be in a couple sketches, which
I watched that when I was 12.
Did you?
I did.
It was back on for a year. It came out 2 years
It's
ago.
coming back?
It was one season came out on Paramount Plus a couple years ago. Thank you for doing your research before having me on. But no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know.
Okay.
Wow. All
I'm
right.
voting for DeSantis.
No, you know what? But anyway, so yeah. So then she's like, she went on tour. She brought along Mia Jackson, another great comic who works at the Cellar, good friend, and she's like, yeah, we need one more person. So.
Yeah.
And then she mentioned you on Andy Cohen's
I know.
show.
Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
I know. How crazy is that?
Did you get like a bunch of followers after that, or like a bunch of people looking at your videos suddenly?
Not too much. I mean, I was at like 11.
You didn't get like a little like
probably
flood?
a boost, probably a little bit,
a drip, a drizzle.
People definitely like mentioned it's like, hey, this is so cool, and some people did follow me, but for the most part, it was like, I got like, I think I was at like 11.5K followers, something measly like that, and then like 11.6 the next.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it did tick the needle up.
0.1. Thank you, Amy Schumer, for that.
I mean, her tour did more. Her tour,
the tour,
did more.
of course.
Like, just going on the road meeting people, that did way more than. I mean, but believe me, like I was like, when I heard she did that, I mean, it was kind of it was such a sweet thing because my mom passed away, and
I feel like I should say.
Did you
something.
research that? So anyway,
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna thank you so much.
So my mom passed away, but one of her things, like, she used to love Andy Cohen. And that was her favorite show. She's
my
like,
mom does too.
Really?
Yeah.
But she was always like, one day, like, they always have someone back there as a bartender. I would love it if you would be the bartender one day, and I could see, something like that. So that never happened before.
It will happen though. No, it will.
I mean, well, she's dead. It's too late. So,
Amy Schumer?
The dream is dead. My mom.
I know, but the dream's not.
No, but anyway.
She's still watching.
But the fact that it was like Amy mentioned it, I'm sure that was sort of like my mom was up there, I'm sure, smiling.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That
was cool. That was cool. That was
if you still have her ashes, you can spread them all over the bar or put them in people's drinks and don't tell them about it.
That's true. I could. Anyway, but yeah, so Amy's great.
Yes.
And like I owe her so much. So,
and also, fun fact, Jaye McBride, very talented comedian who stands on her own 2 feet as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, look at you.
Absolutely.
I do. Well, thank you. I try.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into our topic today.
Yes.
We are covering the thing that transgender people love most, which is bathrooms.
I've
Yay!
heard this.
Right.
Don't we just love our bathrooms? That's what we're most known for.
Right.
Can I just say how embarrassing it is to be sitting next to a very successful comedian who has passed at the Comedy Cellar and talk to her about toilets?
Oh, I love toilets. I love a good
Well,
shit.
I heard she has
In
a little
that
bit of a
case-
potty mouth, so
Yes.
Yes.
I love a good shit. You know, like
Yeah.
the really fighters, you know?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Well, we had you on too because we want another trans person to discuss this with.
Yes.
Just so it's not me just airing
It's
my
crazy that
stories.
this is a thing. But you're gonna.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into like that?
And yeah, so the big headline this past week has been with Utah.
Yes.
They recently passed a bathroom bill earlier this year, which requires trans people. They cannot use the bathroom of the gender they identify as unless they have changed not only their birth certificate, but also can prove that they had gender reassignment surgery, which is a little fishy. I'm not
Would
like
would
who
that
are we
imply
showing?
a physical examination?
I mean,
That's literally what it says. We have to prove that we had
right.
the surgery. And then the weird part of the bill that makes it stand out different from all the other bills that have passed is that there's a report hotline. So every citizen can
Jesus
be a
Christ.
vigilante and you can go online and report someone in the state of Utah for using a public restroom or government-owned restroom who you suspect may be transgender. So
We can't even trust people with the Nextdoor app. I don't
Yeah.
know why we're giving people access to a bathroom hotline.
And so what happened with this is that there's no way you can tell if someone's like transgender when they're using the bathroom, but you can definitely report anyone that has like short hair or anyone you deem suspicious maybe trans going into the wrong bathroom.
or if a woman's grunting and it's like a lower octave, if it's like
Exactly.
you know, like a, you know.
And so what happened was, of course, the hotline got flooded with over 12,000
Yes.
fake
Yes.
complaints, bogus. I mean, some could be real, but
The real complaints are also bad.
I think everyone who's trans should you know, when I had a layover in Salt Lake City, I took a shit. By the time they get the report, I'll be long gone. The perfect crime.
The perfect crime. It's
yeah.
Ocean's 11.
The smoking gun won't even be smoking
But-
anymore.
but-
I know.
like-
I
like
won't even
on
flush.
that,
That'll be my J.
If you were to get caught by TSA when someone reports, hey, you just went into the women's restroom, do they run in there and grab you mid poop? And so suddenly you're pooping and then they grab you and then
Oh,
your pants
boy.
are down. They arrest you. They take you through the airport while you're still pooping with your pants down. They take you to a police car. You're still pooping in the police car. They take your photo in jail while you're still pooping. You ate a lot that day. You had Chipotle
Right,
three
right.
times that day. So you're
Right.
pooping a
Once
lot.
is enough.
But
Prince.
like, are you still pooping while they're grabbing you? Like, how does this work?
I would love a poop trail,
Yeah,
like
like a
a
snail
chemtrail,
trail.
just like this whole like
Like,
You know,
yeah,
like-
like a little, like they
Right.
can find you wherever,
Right.
like, you know,
right. like
just
when
follow.
hippos shit, they like spin their tail like a wind.
have seen that,
So
actually.
it sprays up. I think trans people should do
like,
that.
like when
Here's
an
what I wanna-
octopus gets scared and it inks.
Here's what I want to know: who do you report? Like you see, say there's a trans
Mm-hmm.
person, you inspect their genitals, they've had the surgery. Who do you report if it's kind of like a nasty surgery? You know, like they got like
Yeah.
they scrimped and saved. Like I
think
did, you
the
know,
Better
like,
Business Bureau.
Right.
Like you let them like, hey.
Wait, you talking about a bad surgeon or what?
Yeah,
surgery.
yeah, like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
make a report like, hey, she had the surgery.
Or like a just
You leave a nasty Yelp review. Duh.
yeah, Yelp.
right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
verified on Yelp, by the way. I have like
Yeah.
status.
Nice,
Because I've
nice,
left so many
nice.
reviews. Like, this taco tastes fishy. There's a fish taco. What do you expect?
that could also work. That could also work for the gender reassignment review.
right.
This fish
But
taco
I mean,
is
like the
fishy.
fact that you have to prove it's a little weird. Is there got to be a door person? at
That's
the
what I'm
restroom?
saying. Like,
is there a,
also
Yeah.
like
And
the
when-
kind of person who's gonna like volunteer to do that is just gonna be
Ugh.
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 It's a shitty
Here's-
job.
and you know why they're doing this too?
Is Jim
Here's
Norton available?
Oh, he would. He would love
He
it.
would- he would make
do
a
it-
killing.
He would.
Yeah.
He would like look
He'd-
at all
he'd
of
give
them
up
with a
comedy.
giant erection the whole time. Well, a semi.
Yeah.
Well, an erection. I don't know. Giant might be overstating it for Jim.
We don't know.
Anyway, the weird part about this bill that makes it stand out is that anytime they receive a report of a transgender person using the wrong bathroom, the government requires them to do a full investigation on that report. And if they don't comply and do a full investigation on it, they can be penalized $10,000 per day per instance that they do not do a full investigation. So if the auditor's like, hey, I have 12,000 of these like fake reports, I'm not going to waste my time reporting these. He can be fined like $1 million, like essentially.
It's insane.
Yeah, per day. And so that's like the really weird part about the case. And some of these,
That's one of the many weird
some
parts
of the
about
faux
case.
complaints that people have been having. People submitted a complaint for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They said that she could possibly be violating the law.
I can see that.
There's a spot where you can upload some pictures, which is just like They're asking for it.
Right. Yeah. When you're in the bathroom, you want to make sure you have your camera with you to take pictures of other people.
Which is illegal in many
the
places.
best,
You're not supposed to like really film.
That's really the best way to prevent trans people from peeing.
And then people were also
because no one who can pee with a camera on them. You know.
I mean, one time in college, I needed the money, except for that.
Yeah, that's true. No, pee, not be peed on.
Mm-hmm. Both.
Oh, all right.
And then someone also uploaded a Nintendo ROMs, which is like a pirated version of Nintendo games, which means people can download it and like play. Which it's illegal to store that on any computer in the U.S. And so the fact that the government is now storing it on their computer because someone illegally uploaded it to their website, that's like a whole. They're like
that's funny.
trolling. That's funny.
Amazing.
So they're liable for that. And then a complaint that President Trump and Joe Biden were hosting and participating together in a drag queen story hour at a rest stop inside Provo while they're flaunting their transness everywhere.
I can see that. I can see that.
Okay.
But yeah, those are just a few examples of some of the reports they've had.
It sounds like a lot of good Samaritans setting in good faith reports. Right. And I feel like the angle you're taking it from, Ashley, is pretty one-sided, and I think you hate America.
Here's now these bathroom bills, like this isn't new. Like I think it was 2016, North Carolina made the bathroom bill, and I like even then I did this little video of it at the time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, like it has in the dozens of hits. Like it's so viral. It changed their lives. It was like
was it the two girls one cup?
YouTube.
Is that what it's called?
Sort of like that.
Yeah,
sort of like intense. I mean, like I don't
two stalls, one McBride.
I had to straddle them.
Do I use the Rhino or do I use the stall?
But that was like crazy back then, and all this like everyone's like. You ask these people, they're like, "Oh, I don't mind trans people using it as long as they've had the surgery. We just don't want guys going in there pretending they're trans, raping women."
But the weird part about this bill is that what about the trans men? You're literally sending men into the women's restroom. Like, I don't know if you guys have any trans male friends, but for people that don't, trans men, their voices change, they grow full beards, chest hair, they get muscly, they literally pass way better than some trans women pass.
But the thing about trans men too, like the bottom surgery for trans men, that's a huge deal. That's like most. That's why a lot of people don't. There are a few different ways they can do it.
It is for trans women as well. It's a functioning organ. It's not like getting.
No, but I mean, we're saying it.
For trans men, it's like
a lot like
less. I think less surgeons will do it. It's way more complicated.
Pretty intensive.
And a lot of like trans men don't want it.
Yeah.
And it's like so now they have to.
Penis envy.
It's not like getting surgery is not the end game for all trans people.
Right.
And it's a choice.
And it shouldn't have to be.
Also, like the whole thing with like the logic of like these trans bathroom bills, it's like they're like, well, if we allow trans people in, then that means that, cis men can go in and claim they're women and just rape little girls. It's like, okay, if someone's going to rape a child in a bathroom, they're not going to walk up to a door, see a little triangle dress and go, you got me. I'm not raping today.
Exactly. And it's like this is like the fucking straight people problem. Okay, don't pull that shit on us. Like that, like honestly, that Planet Fitness thing. No way, that's a trans person. I saw a picture. That's no way, no fucking way. First of all,
okay, there were several instances. The one shaving or the one.
Yes. First of all,
also the Planet Fitness thing was mentioned. I have no idea what it
we'll
someone
get to the
took a picture.
Full story.
Creepy. Someone took a picture of someone in a bathroom, but it's like that was definitely like I saw a picture, but also like trans women don't work out. We don't leave the house. We don't ever. You might because you're.
They're too busy.
I have a gym in my building. I work out 3 days a week at least. So
most of us don't leave the house unless it's for like an anime release or
their coding job
or protest.
No, but
we love protests.
Yeah, protests, coding.
Yeah.
Really, any anime conventions, anything with Sailor Moon.
Yes, exactly.
But I do use the locker room here. It's an Equinox and it's private, so only people that live in the building can use it. And so literally all the staff, like half the members, they all know my name because I take classes with them and we talk. They've come to my comedy shows, which I talk about being trans. And so literally everyone knows I'm trans and they'll come in the locker room to me and say hi and everything. But I'm also not like running around like being like, woo, helicopter. like,
ew. No helicopter. I know you're saying you don't.
I don't know. No, I do not. And so like every time I've been changing in the women's locker room for 8 years. And every time I change, I either do a pool deck change, which is you wrap a towel around you, put your underwear on, or you do whatever, and then once everything is done, you can take it off and then you're fully clothed. Or I go in a stall if it's like really crowded and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it, you know? I've never once like flaunted or because I don't want to make people uncomfortable either.
No one's flaunting. No one's being like, look at what I get. Like, I don't know.
Especially not
Look
after
what I can do.
Especially not after estrogen.
Literally. No, but like no one's flaunting. It's just a question of like people like being able to like change out of like their gym. I don't know.
I'm just tired
Who's
of
this invisible person?
I'm just tired for like trans people having to pay the price because they're worried about straight men raping women.
Literally.
It's like okay, concern, go after them. Don't
Straight men.
But you're going after trans. It's like
I mean this in like
fuck up.
in the least offensive way possible. Straight men are going to rape women regardless of trans people.
Yes.
And we have, as a society, we have to do our best to stop that. But you are attacking trans people when the straight men who are raping women are right here.
Yeah.
And you're going here.
Wow, way to bring down the comedy podcast.
But also,
holy shit. Wow,
Yeah, no,
thank you. But I mean, it's almost
Sure.
like that kicker who did the graduation speech. Did you see that going around?
Oh, I
Wait,
did.
what are we talking
It
about?
was real bad.
Some guy was doing this graduation speech. It's like, women,
professional football player.
you need to like stop believing the lie that you need a career.
Yes.
You should be you can be a housewife.
When was this?
There was
This
it
is
was
like a week or
today.
two ago.
Oh,
Wait, it happened this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Recently.
Wait, I need to look
there
this
was a
up.
professional football player who was like, he had a lot of topics. One was he ranted about apparently Pride Month and a couple other things.
He was trying to put women back in their place, though. What is
his
his name and number? Because honestly, I don't want to have to work, and so if I can date him, like
100%. And like honestly, like sister wives, people complain.
Yeah.
I would be so down with that.
But-
right? I work Mondays. You guys.
Well,
I'm taking the rest of the week off. Now go
I
make some
want
money.
multiple husbands, though, like a doctor, a lawyer. You know, I don't want to have to pick and choose.
Oof, I don't know.
But the professional football player had a commencement speech for the graduation, and he said a lot of offensive things, and it ended with him singling out the women and saying, "I know you must be really proud of like with your graduation or whatever, but you need to stop believing the lie society tells you. You shouldn't be going out and getting careers. You should be settling down and becoming a homemaker."
Right. You shouldn't be worried.
Do you know
about
who's really
careers.
big on stuff like that right now? Is Elon Musk, because he's very much worried about the population decline. He thinks that gay people and trans people are causing the population decline.
First of all, the population is still like people are having less kids, but we're still not.
But no one's
declining
gonna buy
because
his
people are living longer.
Teslas.
He's such an asshole, and we're also kind of overpopulated anyway. So what a fucking asshole!
Literally.
Once you get cucked one time by a trans woman, and now this is the result.
And then I'll
Wait, what happened with the trans woman?
Yeah,
and
a
Elon?
trans woman stole his wife.
Yeah, and Chelsea Manning stole his
which
wife.
is such
You
a
didn't know
weird.
that?
Chelsea Manning and
I
Grimes.
thought Elon
weird
had a
power
trans
couple.
kid, possibly, or
Both, yeah.
queer.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
things are true. You have to understand, Elon Musk hates. It's such like a clear cut. Sometimes when someone like hates trans people or gay people or whatever, it's like, oh, I bet they have some ulterior motive that causes this. Elon Musk has a trans child who hates him, a trans daughter who hates him.
Yes.
He has a trans daughter who hates him, and a trans woman stole his wife. So it's such like a clear cut thing.
But he gave his kids like such gender neutral names. What is it, like E134? I don't know.
Oh, really?
The robot name.
Yeah, which one is it?
I don't know it off the top of my head. I can look
It was
up.
him and Grimes. They
Grimes
were very
had a baby.
creative and like thought of something.
Right.
It sounds like it's like a name that's spelled as if it should be the sound a fax machine makes.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll look it up. Hot take. I don't care much for Elon Musk. And
What?
I know he watches this podcast, so this is going to be a big letdown for
Here
him.
we go.
Well, we do post on X, by the way.
I will dead name that app. It's called Twitter.
Twitter. You mean Twitter?
That makes me feel like I'm like a 50-year-old like grandfather, where like whenever someone calls it X, I'm like, it's goddamn Twitter. I don't care about it.
Well, no, everyone still calls it Twitter because it's so confusing.
Yes,
like you're
I
like,
used to love
That's
Twitter.
why I feel like a 50-year-old grandfather.
Yes.
I do find it fascinating though that he is so transfixed on like the trans community. Like he's this billionaire sitting at home, like sending rockets to space, satellites, building these cars, and then he's just sitting there on his phone posting transphobic stuff on Twitter. It's like, okay, I know you're really busy, but like, is this really what you're going to bed at night thinking, like about trans people?
Here's the thing. That's what he's what happens when guys refuse to admit they like a finger in the ass.
Really?
That's what happens. It's like
The highlighted first one
It's
is the
toxic
name.
masculinity.
Jesus
I think
Christ.
you're right.
I know.
That's like the old.
Oh, we're gonna
English
read the name for
A-
us?
That's like the old English AE.
Yeah, it's the
Like where the AE
people
or
don't
one
even
letter.
use that typology.
Wait,
No,
Ethan,
it's-
say the name.
I can't.
You can't.
Okay, hold on. Let me start off. The first letter is X. The second is the old English typology letter. That is, it looks to be an A and an E mashed together. It makes a sound that I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Then it's a dash and then XII.
I think that was correct.
I think it's
Yeah.
pronounced
I think so
Kevin.
Kevin.
Have you ever done comedy in Salt Lake City, Utah?
No.
I have.
I've never-
I actually love. They have one of the best clubs there.
I've
It's
heard
Wise
that.
Guys. It is like
I've heard
very
about it.
large. It's very well built, and the stage is perfectly in the middle. The audience is well lit. Like it's literally my favorite place I've ever performed at.
Sorry.
I've performed in like a lot of red states, and like there's always like these little pockets. I've heard so many good things about Salt Lake City. So and I was in Nebraska twice, and like these little pockets, and they're it's like they've never the liberal people will come out because they've never seen a liberal for you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So like Wichita,
Yeah.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean
Well,
super red state, but like they have this great club called the Comedy Attic.
Yeah.
So
I've
yeah,
heard of
so
it.
I would love to perform in Salt Lake, but it's just getting there.
Yeah.
know? Same with like the South. Like I would love to perform in all the states down there.
Yeah.
Another weird thing that happened. So the guy who
weird
is
thing.
the state auditor for Utah, he made a video this week and released it on X of him coming out of his stall in the bathroom, and he's like, "Who am I? I'm the potty police," or whatever. And he's like, because he was really upset that they threw this at him, and he is getting all these like reports, and he was the one that's being held responsible to enforce it.
Because he's just trying to like get through his day or whatever, do his paperwork,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, you need to inspect a bunch of women's genitals. Can you do that? Can you get that on my desk before 5?
Yeah.
These pussy
But
pictures."
they pissed him off so much that he went and made this like really embarrassing video in a bathroom because of it. And so it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, if I'm looking for an expert on vaginas, it's not going to be someone from Utah.
That's why I'm saying a man from Utah.
Yeah.
My guess is
Ashley Gavin.
other than seeing one through a sheet,
A lesbian.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring in Ashley.
Bring-
like she would be
bring-
like, all right, no,
yeah.
that's trans badge, that's
Yes.
regular badge, that's
Yeah.
But yeah, and
Just like a wine taster.
Right,
Being like, Merlot. Yes. Yeah. That vintage. Is that 1948? It's a nice vintage.
has a lot of body on
Yeah,
this
a
badge.
lot of
I don't. I'm getting oaky tones.
It's fruit
It's
forward.
very oaky. Very, yes, it's heavy on the nose.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's very like a salty vinegary. It's like it's sort of like salt and vinegar
Yeah.
potato chips. That's what I'm getting.
She has one of those spit buckets at wine tasting.
so have you ever been to a state that had these trans bathroom laws before?
Yeah,
And if so, like, what did you do? Did you like try to hide or like go into a different one or?
No, the perfect crime. I went in, peed, but before anyone noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Like I was driving. I think
just like on your neighbor's lawn.
I drove through exactly.
It's
exactly.
I watch your special. Hey.
Thank you. Yep, shitting on my neighbor's lawn. Yep, classic Jay.
Classic Jay.
No, but I actually like was driving through North Carolina in 2016 when they passed the bathroom bill, and it was one of those things like I'm not terrible looking, but at the time people wouldn't be like that's a trans woman or that's a man, you know?
Right.
I mean, not like they do on YouTube every time I post a clip.
Yeah.
But so I don't think anyone even noticed, you know. But in the back of my head, it's hard not to think like, am I going to get arrested? You know, is this it?
No, really.
Right.
I'm afraid about that too because I've never been to a state that's had, this actual law before, but I go to Utah every year to see my family. And just in August, I already booked my plane ticket to go to Utah for Burning Man. And I'm going to be flying to the Salt Lake City airport. And every time I go to the airport, whether I'm getting on the plane, getting off of it, I have to pee.
Yes.
And so I'm going to be
gotta get a
confronted with
cath.
that.
Me
But
too.
like,
Gotta get a
I mean,
catheter.
shitting in an airport's one of those things. Like every time I fly, I have to take a shit
Yeah.
out of the airports. It's just like, yeah.
but like, I wonder too, like, so if I do have to go to the men's room, like, are people going to look at me weird and
Yeah,
be like,
don't go to
what
the
are you
men's room.
doing
Don't
in
go
here?
to the men's
Don't
room.
Go. No, that's what the law says I have to.
The law says you have to, but like that's the thing to me. It's like
No, but-
which is weirder? Which is weirder? A woman in full makeup and a dress
Yeah.
going to the men's room, or a woman in makeup and a dress going
100%.
to the women's room. It's just like obviously like there's so much like serious stuff at stake with rights, but on a fundamental like vision level, it's like a trans man with a beard going into the women's room is much weirder than a trans woman.
Well,
going to the
also
women's
like
room.
people are forgetting the fact that trans women aren't going to hurt anyone. They're going to pee. You know what I mean? Like so.
It's like saying that all Catholic priests are child molesters. Which,
it's
you know,
only like
it's only the
half.
ones
The
that
worst
are.
thing
Yeah,
a trans-
it's only half.
the
It's
worst-
only like
it's only
50%, like tops.
The worst thing a
Maybe-
trans woman has ever done in the bathroom is do a little bit of ketamine, and that doesn't hurt anyone else.
Yes, right. Or raw dogged it on the toilet
On the baby
seat.
changing
One of the
table.
two.
On the baby changing
table.
tape.
Anyways, cut it out.
But
Or
yeah, no,
don't.
I actually
Whatever.
do
Yeah,
worry
did you-
about this.
right.
And I actually have been arrested like in relation to bathroom stuff before. And so when I fly to Salt Lake City, like I definitely want to comply with their laws because I don't want to end up in the men's prison again. And so, yeah.
Wait, were you after you transitioned, you were in a men's prison?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Looking like this baby.
Damn. I actually had a joke about that, but it's scary to think about. And like that's
Yeah.
I
I ended up suing and the laws got changed in California because of it.
California?
Or the Ninth
Yeah. Well,
Circuit.
Kamala Harris,
It
like,
was
that's
a
one of the
federal
things,
case.
like,
yeah. But Utah's not part of the Ninth Circuit. It's the 10th Circuit. And so I'd have to like do it all over again, basically, which
Did you win a lawsuit?
Oh yeah, I sued
fuck
I
yeah.
sued the police,
How
I
do you
sued the
think she-
county.
How do you think she's in this apartment right now?
I was gonna say like I need some of that.
It's true.
I'm going to Utah. I'm going to Utah, baby.
And by the
Wait,
way, your right to
hold
pee
on.
standing up is worth six
Wait
figures,
a minute.
just so you know.
You keep saying like, oh, I don't want to have to sue in Utah. You could have a second apartment if you
I
pee
know.
in Utah.
a second apartment.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like you're just talking.
I could have an apartment
Can
for
we-
each
if you
gender
get-
that I am.
If you pee in Utah and you sue them and you win, can we split it?
Yeah.
3 ways.
Right.
Are
you know,
in?
there's the Mormons
have-
are rich,
You-
rich.
Are you?
If it were
Jay,
like
are
your
you
gender,
in?
you'd be living between the two apartments.
But you know,
Ah.
so
Thank
my
you.
lawsuit at the beginning
wish
of
we had a
it,
rim
our
shot.
Supreme
We
Court
do.
was fine, but I think at the end of it, it changed so that the imbalance. So now it's all conservative justices, and so that was one thing my lawyers and I discussed was like, if this were to go all the way to trial and we lost or we had to go to appeals, if it eventually did get up to the Supreme Court, they were worried about us losing it. So they were pushing us towards settlement, which settlement still meant in any case, anytime you sue the government, they have to actually go in and look at the law and change stuff so it doesn't happen again and they don't have to keep paying a
You
trans
should just
person.
pee in every state and just
Yeah.
I mean, not with this
Fix
Supreme Court
everything.
though. No, but I mean, like it's also the other thing. Like I don't think anyone's going to give you much of a hard time if you go into a women's restroom.
You'd be
You know,
surprised.
there
I
are
have
some
a-
people who don't necessarily.
I have a friend. He is a
pass as
straight
well.
man with a cis girlfriend, and she has gotten accused of being trans, like on the subway and stuff, multiple times.
Wait, so that's another big part of this. So part of the story that came out, someone approached them and they're like, hey, I'm a female, but I went to Las Vegas or something, and this person was following me around accusing me of being a man in the women's room, and she's like, I'm a cis woman, and it was very uncomfortable and it got very confrontational and she felt unsafe because this person was going after them.
That's scarier than the laws,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
'Cause if you
Like, the
think
people
about
are
it,
way scarier than the laws.
There's like so many women that have
There's-
like broad shoulders or
It's not an exact like dichotomy of like there's tall women. I know women who have facial hair who are
There's
cis
intersex.
women. Obviously, of course, but also like there's like women with short hair. There's XYZ. Like a lot of people come in a lot of different shapes, sizes, colors, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't just like assume that.
Yeah.
I don't know. In the past few years, there's been such a rise of like anti-trans rhetoric. In addition to
Yes.
a lot of trans women being beaten, killed, et cetera, et
Yeah,
cetera.
mostly trans women of color too. By the way, they're
Women
the
of
ones
color.
who face the brunt of this
There's
shit.
been a couple of cis women who was accused of being trans and was murdered.
Yeah,
So
I
like
mean,
all
yeah.
of these like feminist groups who are like supporting these anti-trans laws, it's like you don't understand what you're doing.
right. Yeah, definitely.
So many women, trans and cis, are feeling the brunt. This is such a serious topic.
Yeah,
This is not the funny place. I'm turning in my badge and my gun.
Well, at the end of this episode, we'll decide whether or not we think it's funny. But we still have a
there we
few
go.
more topics. So,
All right.
But one bit of advice
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
anyone, like if you're trans and you're in an airport, like whenever I see trans people walking, sometimes it's almost like they have their shoulders slouched, they're hiding a little bit, and they're like,
well, it's the
head
body
down.
scanner. That thing is scary.
Yeah, but also it's just like
If you don't look, if
you
you look suspicious
yeah.
if you walk
Well,
like
you
that.
also read more as trans. I think when you're trying to hide
Yeah.
someone, like when you're walking, just head up, straight ahead,
Yeah.
shoulders back. Fuck everyone. You belong there. Go fuck yourself if you disagree. That's
Yeah.
That's what I. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one time like someone was like they were sort of like doing this whole thing where they're sort of looking at me, they're sort of going like this. So I just turned my full head and started staring. I was just like, and they just like they immediately like it was amazing. I felt so powerful. It was like the Omen 2 shit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You had a staring contest. The staring contest always works. Go back to
like it's someone trying to intimidate me. Like, oh, there's a trans person. I think I can bully them. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah.
You're
I'm gonna look right at you.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
You.
Anyway, I would like to see them change this law before I go back. And also, another state brought forth a lawsuit over a trans bathroom bill that went to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court reviewed it this year, and they rejected taking on the case, which is great because it would have been the wrong time for them to take on a case like that. Yeah, the Supreme Court doesn't want to deal with it right now. And because they rejected it, it took away that ruling. They can't kick trans people out of the bathroom in that state.
Yeah, the Supreme Court did rule like in our favor for one thing a few years ago. So, I mean, hopefully some of the laws.
Wait, what do you mean in our favor?
There was a woman in Michigan who was fired by, she was like a mortician or something like that. It was like a funeral home fired her for being trans. Do you guys not know?
I think I've heard about this case. Yeah.
And basically as part of this whole, like 3 different cases were heard before the Supreme Court and like saying
why
you
the
can't fire
funeral
someone for being trans.
That's where she worked.
I know. It's like, look, I don't.
Did she make the dead people uncomfortable?
Right.
Yeah.
Her.
That's so
I don't know. The show I was at 2 nights ago felt like a funeral home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, was it like a religious funeral home or something?
Probably.
Like-
Like a
It's,
church.
I mean, I'm sure the guy, it was in Michigan. I'm sure the guy was like some
Yeah.
religious fanatic, but basically we
That's
won
so
the case.
weird.
Even like
Yeah.
Gorsuch was voted like on our side, which is fucking crazy.
I mean, that's the last place I'd figure a trans person from getting fired.
a mortuary. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Did you guys hear about the Planet Fitness stuff that went on about?
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah.
we talked about it a little bit, but I'd love to hear the story.
Yeah, so pretty much like another Bud Light type fiasco happened with Planet Fitness.
What?
A transgender person was shaving their beard at the sinks inside the women's restroom. What happened was a woman in the locker room took a picture of this happening. We'll call her Karen. I don't know her real name. And so this Karen got all mad and she went up to the manager of the fitness club and showed them the picture of the person in the locker room and was like, hey, they're shaving. You need to kick them out of the club. They're violating policy, whatever. And the manager is like, actually, you're not supposed to take photos of other members in the locker room because you're violating their privacy and it's against club rules. And so they took her membership away and they stood up for the trans person. And this woman then walked in the parking lot and went like live on TikTok or made a little video about her rampage. And then it basically had a big
Which
Bud
is how
Light
to
thing
portray
happen.
yourself as sensible, screaming in a parking
Exactly.
lot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and so the stocks dropped, and also another thing that happened, they had
Planet Fitness has
53
stocks?
bomb threats
Yes.
called into Planet Fitness, which means they have to shut down the club, evacuate all the members, use a lot of resources for the cities.
That's a great excuse
The
on
bomb
why
squad
you
costs
haven't
a lot
been
of
able to
money.
lose more weight.
Yeah.
I couldn't
This-
go to
Yeah.
the gym. There were bomb threats.
This whole thing sounds suspect to me, though. I don't know that like I saw the picture online of the person who was trans.
You
Like,
did?
They were wearing they were presenting male.
They're-
Everything
it-
about them was presenting male. They had
There's-
short
so you
hair.
think
They
it
were
was
very-
you think it was
I
a
think
fake?
I think it was
Here's the
all a
thing.
setup. I think
Yeah.
it was bullshit. And
But
I think it was
Also,
100%
even
a
if
setup.
it's not a setup, even if it's just like a strange man in the locker room, this woman
yes,
didn't
She
interact.
was in the wrong.
Didn't interact with this person. You don't know that it's a trans person.
Right.
You're just assuming all these things immediately,
But
and
also-
you're for your own narrative.
And also, by the way, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like we share bathrooms with different genders of people
I-
all the
Yeah.
time. That's the
I
other
don't know
takeaway from
I don't
this.
know if you
But
grew up with, but we had a thing in my house where we had a bathroom, and people of different genders would use it because that's how
What?
bathrooms work.
And you're from upstate New York, so
I know,
they didn't
very
even have running
progressive.
water. So
We-
that's
we didn't
really
have
progressive.
shoes.
I know.
It's so, especially like, have you ever seen this like in
Yeah.
a public place where like it's a single use bathroom that
Yes.
has a women's or men's on it? I'm like, but it's
Yeah.
a single stall.
Right. 100%.
Well, that's what they're trying to do in Utah. They're like, oh, we're inclusive. Like they also in their bill, they're like, anyone that makes a new public restroom, they also have to have a single stall for gender neutral or family bathrooms there. But like, I don't want to be forced to
favorite-
that because the best
right.
gossip happens in front of the mirror in the girls' room when you're putting on makeup and you're like, that's where you spill the tea.
Yeah.
Right. I've never had a problem, but also I think like I have that look when I'm walking. Like if someone bugs me, I'm going to punch them in the face. Which,
But
not a good look. I don't get hit on a lot anymore.
then again, you mentioned you weren't sure if that one person was a trans person. I don't want to debate whether or not they were trans.
No, 100%.
That's the
100%.
thing. Well,
I don't
I'm not-
either. But this
you know,
whole thing is
I'm not
fishy. That's
even
all I'm
debating
saying.
whether or not this happened. I'm saying she assumed so much.
Yes.
Just
the
from
person
Yeah.
who took the
to this
picture was
person.
in the wrong.
You have no
100%.
idea.
But also Megan
also-
Kelly commented on this.
Oh,
and
she's
Of course
she's
she
also
did.
she went to my high school.
Well, she
not at
says
the same time. I'm not that
trans
age.
she says trans women do not shave their faces, especially in public.
Ew.
But the thing is that women do shave their faces because there's a lot of women
Yes.
that grow mustaches.
No,
Who
but
knows?
polycystic ovarian
Pe-
syndrome,
people-
like people with PCOS.
I have a couple
have
female
like,
friends
yeah.
with PCOS.
So I mean, but I think like the whole thing, it just felt like
Yeah.
it felt suspect, and it may not be. This person may be trans that they were doing that. It just
Yeah.
seemed,
But it's not like the person with
it
the phone
seemed weird.
checked.
It seemed weird, but the person who took the picture was 100% wrong, and the people calling bomb threats are 100% wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone flipping out about Planet Fitness, where there's never, a trans person hasn't done anything wrong there. Even if this were the
okay,
case.
so after all this happened, I mean, it made the national news. They're protecting trans people. A straight up man like went into the women's restroom in at Planet Fitness, disrobed, and like was running around
Was that
talking
Tyler
about
Fisher's new special?
like they did it on
I
purpose.
just got one in. Sorry.
They
to be
ended up
edited
getting
out.
arrested. They did it in front of like a 17-year-old girl or whatever, and yeah, they had to call 911.
You know what?
Yeah.
Obviously, he shouldn't have done that. That kind of proves the point of if men want to do that, they're going to do that anyways. And two, of course, you're going to get fucking arrested.
Yes, here's another case of
Exposing
cis, like
yourself isn't
people
legal.
punishing trans people because of the actions of cis men.
Literally.
It's
Right.
like that's like that. We're not the problem. here.
Yes. And it literally all
but,
it goes,
but he did it
all
on purpose just because of
That's
the
what, but
trans
that's what we're
stuff.
saying. All it goes is to prove that, like, if a cis man does that or assaults a woman or exposes himself in front of a woman, they're going to get arrested, which is what happened.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just so
$25,000 bond.
Yeah,
we have to keep an eye on that one. But
stupid. Yeah.
well, I guess we're to that magical point in
Oh
the
my
episode
God.
where we decide whether or not we think trans bathroom bills and bathroom bomb threats at Planet Fitness are funny. Ethan, do you think trans bathroom bills are funny?
I'm gonna say not funny. I think comedians have made individual very good jokes about it, but like we're so in the midst of like all these things happening specifically to trans people that I'm like, I don't think we're gonna be able to get a real good joke, a good haha joke in about it
Yes.
until we can get some actual legislation going where to protect people. I'm not laughing particularly.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna answer.
What about you, Jay?
Now, although here's a bomb threat, I'm going to drop a bomb in the bathroom later.
Whoa,
Oh, I got a big one. Chipotle.
Planet
Sponsored by
Fitness?
Chipotle.
But yeah, do you think it's funny? We all have to say
No,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of the bomb threat in Planet Fitness. Not a fan of the Utah bill. Yeah, I'm gonna say not funny.
Not funny.
Yeah. I'm
mean-
also going to say not funny, although a lot of my stand up has been about transgender bathroom jokes.
Right.
So the controversy gives me a lot of material, but it was not fun being put in a men's prison and having to deal with all.
I
lawyers.
can't
It's a
imagine
whole
that.
other
I can't imagine
issue.
because you're probably put in solitary, right?
Yeah, the
For
VIP
23
section.
hours or something
Absolutely.
like that? Yeah, and 23 hours a day in solitary.
I was there for like half a day.
Oh.
But yeah, they still like kind of messed with me.
Half a day. You got this apartment
Well,
for half. a
it happened
fucking
at
day?
night, and
Ugh.
they didn't give me a bed, and they put me in like
Yeah.
a poopy cell that this person with explosive
Yeah.
diarrhea was in before me, and they didn't.
Oh, that's a whole other issue though of like going to like trans women being put in like in men's prisons.
Yeah, I used to have a joke about that, but now it's like I feel like I can't really. Like I used to say, like with the North Carolina bathroom bill, when that was introduced, someone said if you come to North Carolina and use a women's restroom, they said I'd be arrested and I'd be thrown in a men's prison. So I spent 2 weeks trying to get arrested in North Carolina. And then I said, men's prison, that like, you think that scares me? It's literally on my vision board. And it's always like a great joke, but now it's like, well, that actually happens to people. Maybe I shouldn't joke about that.
Yeah.
No, you can absolutely still
I mean,
joke about it.
I think with trans people, like
We're not the
sometimes-
PC police. We're the
some
funny
trans,
police.
Some trans people, I can joke about that with some trans people.
But that's why we have to. Our job is to make things that aren't funny. So
Yeah.
you're being a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see a documentary about a prison in like California where they had like a wing. It was like the gay wing
Yes,
of the prison.
I remember that.
Yeah, in
Where
LA.
it was
It's in
gay
LA.
prisoners and also like trans women prison. There was actually, I think
it
you
was
said
the
you
best decorated
friend-
jail in history.
and I think you said your friend interviews like a couple people in LA, and he actually interviewed. There's a woman a trans woman named, like, I think her name was Mousy or something.
Mousy, yeah.
She was great. She was in there for like gang activity, which is so awesome, like gang robberies and stuff. And she had tattooed on eyebrows that went like this.
Oh,
and
nice.
she was like, so like, it feels weird to say, but like, she was so like well put together in prison. I was like, she's great for gang activity. It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
I think that friend's
Don't
name
do
is.
gangs.
Well, that's another thing.
Is it
where-
Matt Colon? His name?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
It's another thing where, like, again, trans women of color face it adversely. You know, like they face a
You just
disproportionate
assumed
amount.
she was in color. She was of color.
I saw the
Wow.
documentary.
Okay,
Almost,
sorry.
yeah.
I was just trying to make you see.
Oh, you saw that
racist.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, we all watch
Yeah.
him. Yeah. Anyway, that is our show. Ethan, where can we find you?
Oh my God. You can find me on Instagram at efiller13. And I also help run an open mic / show every week at Soho Playhouse. Wednesdays at 9:30. There's music, comedy, etc. It's at 15 Van Dam Street, Soho Playhouse. Over to Jaye McBride.
Well, thank you. No, first of all, thank you both for having me. This is not as funny as I would have liked. You know,
That's what I say
rape,
every
shit,
time.
holy shit.
Yeah.
All right. But
I
We'll
had
have
a
you
lot.
on for a
It'll be
funny one.
funny.
What do you want to? We'll do one where we talk about like propeller hats or something.
Okay.
Or like
Yeah.
you know, the teeth with you twist them and they chatter.
ooh, old school. Look at
Yeah.
you. I like it. You can catch me. Let's see. I'm at the Cellar if you're in New York. I'm there all
Yeah.
the time.
Maybe
Check out
you've
the
heard of
schedule. But you can also, let's see. I think June 8th, I'll be in Algonquin, Maine, doing a Pride thing. Check out my Instagram page for that.
Yeah.
JAYE.McBride. And I just released a comic book, which is now available to purchase. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I wrote it and illustrated it. I'm pretty
Oh my
happy about
God.
it. Yeah.
I can't do anything.
And you can follow me at Ashley Ryan TV.
Oh.
And thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching another episode of The Funny Please. If you'd like to show your support, please like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out. We're trying to get things started here. And share with a friend if you think this episode was funny, or if you just think that we're both really super hot. I don't know.